What is going on, Bucs fans? Evan Wanish here, back at you with yet another video talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And today we are going to be talking about the players to watch for the Buccaneers Week 8 matchup on Thursday Night Football against the Buffalo Bills. The Bucs obviously coming off of a very disappointing 16-13 loss to the Atlanta Falcons, a game that they just let slip away, quite frankly. They really, really did. They should have won the game, honestly. And they just didn't. They beat themselves. I was going to say they didn't play well enough, but they truly beat themselves. So, with that being said, they're now facing a Bills team who has struggled in their own right. I mean, they've lost 2 out of the last 3, including last week to the Patriots, who have really been struggling. So, we will see what type of Bucs team and what type of Bills team we get on Thursday night. But let's get into the players to watch for this week. First, I have to start off with Baker Mayfield. I know it seems like every week we're talking about Baker Mayfield. It's because the quarterback's the most important position on the football team. I'm not going to lie. But I think this week, especially after 2 lackluster performances in a row, versus Detroit, he really wasn't good. Versus Atlanta, he was a little bit better, but then obviously had some crucial mistakes down the stretch, including that interception late in the game. Just can't happen. Cannot throw that football there. And just a mistake. And right now, the Buccaneers are facing potentially 3 straight losses. And I think if Baker Mayfield were to struggle again, I'm not saying they would bench him for Kyle Trask like in Week 9 versus Houston. But I do think if Baker Mayfield were to struggle one more time and the Buccaneers were to lose, I do think that noise gets a whole lot louder. And I think the possibility of Kyle Trask would then really start to ramp up. I'm not saying it would happen, but I do think we'd be a lot closer to it. So I think Baker Mayfield needs to bounce back. I mean, regardless of it, whether it's a win or a loss, you have to feel good about the performance that he put in. So I do think he is a big, big player to watch. Against the Bills defense, that has struggled a little bit. Obviously, losing Tre'Davious White and Matt Milano really does hurt. So hopefully Baker Mayfield can bounce back in this game here. Next, we're going to look at Rachaad White. Now, the Buccaneers run game. Look, I said on Cannon Fire podcast, my podcast, like I'm done mostly talking about the run game. It is what it is. It's awful. Like the Bucs running game is just bad. It's not just on Rachaad White. It's on the play calling. It's on the offensive line. It's on the running backs. It's not all on one guy. To be this bad, it can't be all on one guy. But Rachaad White is facing a Bills rush defense that's quite frankly not that good. So it's probably the weakest run defense that the Buccaneers have faced so far. So I'm looking for something out of Rachaad White here. So show me some type of juice because right now it is really, really hurting this offense that they can't run the ball. And it's putting your quarterback at a disadvantage. It's putting your play caller at a disadvantage. It's putting everybody at a disadvantage because when you're that off balance, it's so much easier for a defense to game plan. So Rachaad White is definitely a player to watch. And then lastly, on the offense, I'm going to say the offensive line. One of the reasons is the run game, open up those lanes in the run game there, but also protecting Baker Mayfield. They've been doing a decent job of that this season. Their pass protection has obviously been much better than their run blocking, but I do think they could always have room for improvement there on pass protection. And against the Bills defense that has some solid pass rushers for sure. So want to watch out for that and just hope that you can keep Baker Mayfield clean, give him enough time to find the open men and be able to, like I said, be productive because it's a really important week for Baker Mayfield. It really, really is. So we will have to see what type of offensive line we get on Thursday night. And then following onto the defensive side of the ball, I'm going to be looking at Devin White here. And look, we highlighted Devin White, I believe, last week as well, both linebackers, because containing Bijan Robinson. Bijan Robinson really didn't play much, but Devin White still struggled. Really struggled from beginning to end against Atlanta. Gave up a huge play to Tyler Algier, which really, took a turn in that game. Just picked the wrong guy. Desmond Ridder was running. Anton Winfield was trying to run him down. Devin White with his man. He leaves Algier, and then Algier's there for a 47-yard catch. But that's not the only play. Devin White missed a few tackles. He missed some gap assignments. Just not really good enough from the fifth-year linebacker who wants a new contract. And not sure if he's going to get it in Tampa Bay if he keeps playing like that. So he needs to have a bounce-back game for sure. Absolutely does. And with Josh Allen being a running quarterback, like he will run. It's not his first option, but he will run. I think Devin White is big in containing him because if you allow Josh Allen to consistently run and create sort of chaos inside out of the pocket, it can lead to some bad things happening for your defense. So Devin White's definitely a player I'm going to be watching pretty close. Hopefully he can bounce back this Thursday night. And then also the last one, and this is my X factor. It's not even a player. It's a unit. It's the Buccaneers pass rush. The Bucs pass rush has to be better. Now, we've talked about it before on this channel. There's been videos about it that we've made. There's been other Bucs podcasts, other Bucs media writing about it, that the Bucs pass rush has to be better. Shaq Barrett got a sack on Sunday against the Falcons. Good for him. He has to be better. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka actually played decent early on in the season. The pass rush was decent early in the season, but it's taken a lull now. And the numbers aren't bad, right? They're about middle of the pack. I believe the Buccaneers defense has 16 sacks this season. That's 17th in the NFL, I believe. So basically right in the middle. But when you watch it, right, the eye test doesn't match up with what you're seeing on the numbers here because quarterbacks just have too much time. I mean, Derek Carr had too much time. Even though the Bucs won that game, Derek Carr had too much time. Jared Goff had way too much time. And then Desmond Ridder had a lot of time as well. Look, opposing offenses are converting on the Bucs defense on third down over 50%. Over 50%. One of the reasons that is because the Buccaneers pass rush has not been able to affect the quarterback's timing and affect some of these throws, specifically on third down. So it is going to be massive for guys like JTS and Shaq Barrett and even Vita Vea, who had 3.5 sacks and still has 3.5 sacks, was on pace to really get his career high. And now he's been sackless in his last 2 games. So he's going to need to show up as well. Kalijah Kancey, the standout rookie, has been good. I mean, we'll be having a video about him in the coming days here. But he's been good, but he can't do it all himself. You know, this is a rookie who missed training camp, missed the preseason. He can't be the single guy empowering your pass rush here. So the Buccaneers have to find a way to get pressure on Josh Allen, force him into some mistakes, which he will make. He is a gunslinger. I mean, Josh Allen is a classic gunslinger. He will force the ball into some tight windows. He will make some mistakes. But if you give him all day to throw and find Stephon Diggs or Gabe Davis, he's going to do it. So the Buccaneers need to find a way to get consistent pressure on Josh Allen. And I think the pass rush is this week's X factor. So with that being said, let me know who you guys are watching out for this Thursday night against the Bills. I know those are the players I'm going to be watching. I'm always curious to hear who you're going to be keeping a close eye on as the Buccaneers look to try and avoid going under 500 for the first time this season. So hopefully they're able to do that. But with that being said, thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go Bucs.